Hey, Alan here with RVAcrossAmerica.net, and you might want to title this Winter 2018-19 near Jackson, Wyoming in what might be called stupid cold. It's the middle of November. It's November 15, and we've already had a couple of mornings right about at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. That's in November. I can only imagine what January and February are going to bring. I've been told that even in March there are 30 below zero nights. I want to point something out before I go really anywhere with this. You're looking at my outdoors RV, Glacier Peak, and you'll notice that there is snow and ice melting from off the roof. Now I want to pan around a little bit, and I want to show you something here. As I go around to some of the other campers, and this is not a commentary on my neighbors, and I'll go in this direction even though the sun is kind of off this way and it might be kind of hard to see with a couple of campers. Let me come back. Mine's the only one with snow on the roof. What does that tell you? They've all been here for the same amount of time. Once again, in case I was panning in the wrong direction, a little low or whatever, nobody's got snow on their roof. I do. That happens because of quality insulation. 3 layers of insulation between the interior of my camper and the roof. I didn't put it there, but it's an indication of the quality of the build. So that's why I make a big deal that not all campers are built the same. A lot of these folks have done a great job buttoning up their campers. Some of them are virtually mummified. For me, I try to keep at least some semblance of normalcy. I have bubble wrap in some of the windows. I'm also using Reflectix, and I'll show you that in a minute. But everything starts with a good skirt. Now this skirt was made in Boise. I will link you to a story about it, and if you're interested in getting in touch with the company, I'll be glad to refer you, and I've been authorized to give a discount to those who go through me to get it. One of the things I really like about this skirt, and remember this is a 5th wheel, I have a spare room here, and I'm showing you that spare room. It's rolled up. Pardon the water dripping down. This is perhaps the last warm day. This is an area which is enclosed and frankly pretty warm. And you can see where my front storage areas are. And I'm using this for storing stuff. Some power cords, my bike, and a few other odds and ends that may come in handy for the winter. So they'll be accessible. They'll also be relatively dry. This area is staying relatively dry despite the water dripping right against the edge of it. The skirting hugs the side of my camper. They use a mix of snaps and turnbuckles, and I have staked it down to the best of my own ability. I mean, I'm not the greatest when it comes to mechanical and physical stuff. Okay, we're going to take a walk around. Well, let's actually take a look here. I have my door open because it's that nice outside today. And you can see the Reflectix. This is stuff that I got from Amazon. I'll give you a link for it so you can see what I bought and you can get the right price on it. This is stuff that I'm using in a few of the windows that I'm not planning on opening much throughout the winter. As we look here, this one you may be able to see has bubble wrap in the lower half. But when I raise it up, the upper half, because I have blackout shades, is completely open to the world. And that way I can get good sunlight in for the afternoon and still not feel like I'm living in a cave. This window here has Reflectix. This window here would have Reflectix if I wasn't so lazy. I think it already had bubble wrap on it. So I'll walk around behind. Got to go through a little bit of snow and ice here to get over. It doesn't melt fast here at 6,000 feet. Even though today's got to be close to 50 degrees. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now on this side, every year is a little bit different, and every year I get a little bit better at this. You can see a 120-gallon propane tank. I can refer you to the propane people that I use. They're reasonably fair and they're very efficient. This way, what you get with your camper is either a 7-gallon or a 5-gallon propane tank, 2 of them. I've got a 120. That thing's going to last several weeks. In the coldest of cold weather, it'll last probably at least 3 weeks. You can see this heavy, what looks like chain link blue thing. That is a heated hose. It's made by Camco. Again, I've got a link for you to get the best price on it. And this Camco hose is guaranteed to minus 40. What you have here is the hydrant. The hydrant already had heat tape on it. That's electrical wrapping with heat for the hydrant itself, for the post. And what I've done is I have added the plastic bag with Pink Panther underneath. I got a hold of some spare Pink Panther that a local builder had no use for. And that insulation is covering the handle of the hydrant, the top of my heated water hose, which is not the heat tape built into the Camco does not go right to the faucet, to the connector. It has about a 6-inch rubber area that needs to be insulated. So this insulation here is protecting the hose from freezing at the top, and is protecting what was not fully sealed by the campground owners from freezing. What you see down here is an electric outlet. That extension cord is running directly over to the power center here, the power pedestal. And the power pedestal has a GFI circuit protecting this. This is a 20 amp circuit. The 20 amp circuit is only serving the two things that are plugged into it, and that is the heated hose and the heat tape for the hydrant. You do not want to overload them. Now, right here is my sewer hose, and you'll notice I've done nothing with it. And that's because this year I decided I'm going to do nothing with it. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it dry, and I'm going to leave both tank levers, which are inside this zippered area, sealed, so that I'm only going to dump the gray and dump the black when they need to be dumped. And the gray will probably be about once a week, and the black will be probably, I'm on my own in here, once a month. So it's not too bad. I'm doing that because I've tried a variety of strategies with these sewer hoses, and none of them are all that elegant. So I figure this time, just leave it alone, and then find an occasional afternoon where it's like this and do a dump. Even though this is an area that gets super cold, it's not like we're at the North Pole. There will be an occasional warm-up, and that will give me an opportunity to do a dump and be outside where it's not purely Arctic. Now, the refrigerator. I have a traditional Norcold RV fridge, and these are the vents on the side of the camper for it. They do get morning sunlight, which is nice. This one down here, and this is not recommended by Norcold. Do it at your own risk. You are not following the manufacturer's advice if you listen to what I'm about to say. Have I put enough warnings and advisories in there? 2 of those 3 vents I'm going to tape over for the winter. I want limited air getting into the intake down here, which travels up and through the top. Now, I haven't done it yet because on a day like today, it's too warm. It's pushing 50. I would not want to cut off the ventilation to that fridge. That is absolutely a fire hazard. So once again, do not do this. Do not follow my advice, but it's up to you. I am following the thoughts of others who have come before me in this realm. When it is super cold out, this refrigerator, courtesy of Outdoors RV, does have a winter kit. That is a 20-watt heater that heats part of the refrigerator on the outside and keeps it operating. It's an ammonia mixture that cannot gel. If it gels, you're in trouble. It keeps it operating down to about 0 Fahrenheit. Well, being the middle of November, I figured we're safe so far, and I've been okay. But the other thing I've done is I have switched this refrigerator from operating on 110 volt over to propane. I'm not quite sure why they're more successful at running in super cold weather in propane, but I know it to be true, and I'm going to stay running it on propane all winter. So add those pieces of tape. I'm just going to use black duct tape at your own risk on this lower vent, and I'm only going to do 2 of the 3. I know other people who have shoved insulation in there. I'm not crazy about that idea because there isn't a heck of a lot of open space, and that could be an issue. I also might put a light bulb in there. That might add to the complex that I have there. and that's an option for something I may add in the coming weeks. Putting a light bulb in there is going to keep a little bit of ambient heat in the area, and there is a way to do it where you're not going to cause a fire. So that's something for you to consider for the back of the fridge. So far, being the middle of November, I have not felt the compulsion to do anything about it other than switch the fridge over to propane. This is the back of your fridge. That's the cover right here. And this is where I'm going to put the light bulb. I thought about it and said, well, you know what? Follow my own advice. I'm going to put a bulb into this receptacle, and there's a clamp here. You can get them at Walmart. I'm going to create a base for that clamp. I'm not just going to have it lean the way it is. You can see it in there. This is where the works is. And even as my hand is near here, it's pretty warm at the moment. This is the heat kit that's running here and up. So that's what Outdoors RV added, and any tech can add that to any Norcold fridge, I believe any Norcold fridge. And then this is going to go through the slats to the outside world, and this plug will connect in with that extension cord that I'm using for the hose and for the heat tape. I figure a 100 watt or a 60 watt bulb is all I need, and that's not going to add a heck of a lot of current draw off of that 20 amp circuit coming off the power pedestal here. Okay, so that pretty well summarizes a lot of the modifications that I'm making for this season. If you have any questions, by all means, if you go to my post, you're going to see some of the links. We're going to call this rvcrossamerica.net/winter 2018. And if you have any questions, you can post them on the post, and I'll certainly get back to you. I'm very good about doing that in a fairly fast order, fairly quick order. And hopefully I've given you some ideas and given you some advisories on what to do and what not to do, and how to do it. All right, so Alan from rvcrossamerica.net, and again, /winter 2018. You have a great day.